Well, hello, everybody. My name is Max Schmaller. I'm with Thomson Reuters. Thank you for allowing me to kind of, although remotely, to join your conference today. Wanted to share with you, and I've been tasked with sharing with you some of my experiences and some of the industry trends that we've been experiencing here. Now, I've been, again, with Thomson Reuters. I've been here for a little bit over 11 years, primarily as an accounting and auditing specialist. Most recently, I've dealt with a lot of firms moving them to a paperless environment and then moving them into the cloud. And I've been consulting with these firms how to make those next steps. And so we hear a lot of concerns about from firms because I talk to firms from the East Coast, the West Coast, Alaska, Hawaii, even firms international. And there still seems to be some common threads throughout most of the clients I deal with. And number one, specifically here in the United States, is peer review, having to go ahead and meet all the new peer review standards. So it was, but 4 or 5 years ago or so, in the AICPA's campaign to improve overall audit quality, auditors were asked to go ahead and create additional documentation. You probably know this better than I, but what were the risks, how they document those risks, how they respond to that. And a lot of firms were struggling and embracing technology to do that. And it was costing them more time, and they had to improve their documentation to keep these standards. And so some firms have decided, I'm just going to get out of auditing completely because the amount of work I have to do, the time, and I'm just not going to be able to be profitable. While others are really embracing technology, they're going to go ahead and stay with their audit clients. They're looking to streamline the process, improve their documentation, improve their realization rates, and overall just produce higher quality audits for their clients. The number two kind of concern we hear are the standards. Now the standards are changing at ever increasing level. You have your tax standards that CPAs have to keep up with. Then you have your FASB and the AICPA, GASB. It can be overwhelming for a firm to keep up with all of the standards. So they're looking for ways to go ahead, again, to streamline their process, maintain profitability, but how do you go ahead and keep up with the ever-changing standards and the environment they're caused? The third thing that we hear about is fee pressure. Probably more so in some areas than in others, kind of depending on the environment, local business environment, and competition. But firms are finding it difficult, though they're asked to do much more and improve their documentation, do all that work. How do I go ahead and have my fees kind of respond to the additional work I have to do? And a lot of customers in kind of a down environment, business environment, are really reluctant or a little recalcitrant to go ahead and have their fees increased. And so firms are struggling with, how do I streamline the process? How do I become more efficient and therefore become more profitable? So they're looking for ways, and again, a lot of firms are turning to technology to be able to go ahead and do that. Recruiting and keeping and retaining talent is another huge issue. Many of you probably know this as well as I, that this is a problem not only retaining talent, but also recruiting new talent. There's studies and statistics out there that's going to say by 2024, 34% of the workforce is going to be comprised of millennials. Now, millennials are very comfortable with technology, as you well know. They embrace new technology. So firms are trying to go ahead and compete for a diminishing pool of talent. If they're using outdated technology, like they're doing it the whole way by paper and by hand, a very manual process, it's hard for them to get new talent to come in. These kids out of school are again embracing technology. So firms are again looking for new technology to go ahead and not only retain talent, but also to be able to keep new talent coming through the door. Also, business continuity. We're talking to more and more firms that have partners, sometimes several partners, that are retiring, and then some of the younger staff are struggling to go ahead and help to maintain the business and maintain their old contacts, to go ahead and keep their business prospering, but we're having a changing of the guard. So again, a lot of firms are turning to technology. We hear about a lot of mergers and buyouts of firms at an ever increasing rate. So that's kind of caused some issues within the firms and the environment with the firms. But also with COVID, many firms, depending on where you live, of course, were kind of forced to go ahead and work remotely. And that had its own set of unique issues. Now, some firms were ready for this. They had the ability through either third-party cloud providers, or they just had the infrastructure to VPN or Citrix in from remote locations and were able to go ahead and maintain their business. Other firms really, really struggled. Now, even the firms that had VPN or Citrix found it to be very slow and clunky. And now that many of the areas across the United States, things are getting somewhat back to normal, they still find that their CPAs and their auditors are preferring to work remotely. So we have this ever-changing business environment where the traditional model of coming into work every day is kind of going away. A lot of firms are looking to have their CPAs work remotely. How do they go ahead and get that infrastructure to do that, collaborate, and become very, very, very efficient in the process? So this has put an increased burden on IT. Now there's a greater cost of infrastructure in IT. Probably 5 or 6 years ago, I talked to a lot of firms, and they always had one partner, one person at the firm who always kept up on technology extent. What were the trends? What were all the new things that were happening? They had someone that was able to keep on to it. But now technology is changing faster than ever. So the demands on a partner's time are greater than ever. So keeping up with all the standards and technology is difficult. So they're looking to hire third-party IT support to be able to handle that. Now that's increased their cost of being able to maintain that. And also it's uncomfortable having someone in some firms handle that, removing that from someone internally to be able to handle that. But also, if you keep up with all the new demands in software, you have to upgrade your server more often. A SQL database has to be replaced every few years. It is a very expensive proposition. You have your software updates. And again, the complexity of the software and changes in technology really demands that if you don't have someone at the firm who can really specialize in that, you actually go ahead and find a third-party software provider to be able to do that. So firms are really turning to go to the cloud. And one of the things we also hear that the cloud really helps with is firms have been using PPC for years. It's really been the gold standard for many firms in their accounting and auditing products. But then they also have their engagement software where they do their document storage and their trial balance. They've been asking for kind of their wish list. I would like to have all of that in one place. The cloud now offers you the ability to go ahead and do your counting and auditing work the same place you do your trial balance work. So now you can do everything in one place. The cloud also helps you to scale up faster because you really don't have that infrastructure expense. You're not having to worry about someone coming in and updating your software, backing up your software, doing all that work. The cloud kind of handles all of that for you. And interestingly enough, it's helped with not only retaining talent because you're using technology extant, and that's what a lot of new staff are looking for. They're really looking for the firms, and one of the things they look for in firms is, are they using and embracing new technology? The cloud allows you to do that, but also it's allowing firms to go ahead and recruit more nationally. Typically, when you went and did your recruiting, you had to look at just for local talent. Now you can go ahead and look for talent anywhere, which increases your pool of potential candidates. Talked to a firm in North Carolina just a couple of weeks ago, and they actually hired an accountant out of Detroit. And it's been a really good fit for them because they hired an experienced auditor that can come in right away, and they don't have to go ahead and move to North Carolina to be able to do their work. They have access to the internet, they have a computer, they can do their work just absolutely anywhere they want to. So firms, again, are trying to find new ways to work efficiently in a remote environment. COVID, some of the firms don't have people who want to come back to the office. And again, they're looking to be able to way to be efficient and work from the cloud. So the cloud allows you to work from the beach, the office, the home. You're at a kid's soccer game. You need to go ahead and check into work. You have access to the cloud. So Thomson Reuters, in response to this, has gone ahead and created Advanced Flow. Advanced Flow is the first cloud-based audit program that allows you to work anywhere. And it's really built for collaboration. It's built on the Go File Room platform. Many of you are familiar with the Go File Room platform. It's been around for years. It's a stable platform that gives you remote access in the cloud with unlimited storage. It also allows people to work live and in real time. So not only can I go ahead and collaborate with others, you could actually watch me work. So if I was one of your junior staffers, the partner could log in, they could actually watch me work, I could ask questions, and they could help me fill out forms, even though I'm not in the office. So it also helps with touch points, because you want to be able to not only help your remote workers, but also have those touch points and some continuity. It allows you to go ahead and converse and talk to them, all the while working on basically the same platform on the same engagement at times. So because it's live and in real time, you don't have to be concerned with version control, meaning is a document I'm looking at in my document management system or my trial balance software the most live and up-to-date version of that document. Because it's live and in real time, that's never a concern. There's also no check-in or check-out of the binder. So you walk in, you log in. Again, you log into the browser, you have your internet, your computer, you can log in and do your work anyplace, anytime. You don't have to check out something to work. You can just log in and do your work. So again, it's really built for collaboration. And for the first time, your PPC and those of you who use the smart practice aids, all of that is on the same platform. So there's real integration of your counting, auditing work along with your trial balance work for the very first time. So you find out that the cloud allows you again to work anywhere, anytime, in a very collaborative environment. Advanced Flow is really leading the market in that. It's been around for 8 or 9 years. And I know a lot of firms are concerned about trying to go to new technology, new software. There's always that in the back of your mind. What if there's gremlins? What if there's glitches? I was in the medical field for several years, specifically in pharma and biopharma. And one of the axioms of medicine was I never want to be the first person on a new medicine. Kind of the same thing in the software environment. You never want to be the first one. Advanced Flow, again, our cloud-based accounting and auditing software has been around for several years. So you never have to worry about, am I the first one? We have it. It works great. It's very efficient. We have thousands of auditors and thousands of clients using this. And also, because we're in the cloud, we can take advantage of technology extant. That is artificial learning, artificial intelligence, machine learning. You can go ahead and link to data analytics, all from the same platform. You can go ahead and go to confirmation.com if you use that, all in the same platform. So the first time you have everything at your fingertips at the same place, and you can work anywhere. You have access to the internet and a computer, of course. So thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today.